Access Radio, the future of radio and podcast. No limit to what we do.
Access Radio, WIAX, the future of radio and podcast. No limit to what we do.
Mel, celebrity vocal coach right here, and I am a part of Give It Life.
And ratchet, we
And
bringing
real extra ratchet, raunchy.
That'll be everywhere, like.
Those shops is upstairs, but we down here by the house, man.
Zip it up. Your necessary, me, I back it up. Make your hips swing, lean and look. Till you lose your head, then it wind up. Head ya, girls, yeah, get it in. Till your phone start ring, ding, 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 ding. When I be my with him. Zim, my boyfriend, killer, oh, Shim, I got the night simmering. Things see me in a style and never see you in. Beep, beep, we on the way, and we're glimmering. Wet like a summer drip, dripping, oh yeah. I got him, I don't give a fuck. I got him, I open up on my foot, same time, me no wanna meet.
Hey everybody. My goodness, I know I look a little, I'm looking at myself, I look a little tired. So I found out some interesting information. So I'm just going to tell everybody that before I really get started. So I was feeling like, everybody starts doing their little summer diets. Anyway, I decided to do it, but I had a lot of work to do and everything. And I was like, why am I feeling so tired? I'm like, this is crazy. I'm feeling super, 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 super freaking tired. And so I went to the doctor and, they do the blood work and it comes back. So I ended up doing some more research and find this out. They told me it's because I have vitamin D deficiency. I didn't think that was that serious. I was like, wait, what? That's making me feel this tired? And I should know this, being that I'm a nurse. But I am retired, so you don't even think about it. I never thought when I was tired, that's what it would be. So apparently, this is why I'm mentioning it. It's 47% higher in Black people than it is any other people. And so basically, it makes you really tired, depressed. It can make you depressed, really tired, hard to lose weight, all these things. And literally it's because you don't get enough sun. I'm thinking when I'm going outside and, just walking around, you go outside, you go to the store, you go to the supermarket, you come out, apparently there's not enough sun. Literally, you take vitamin D. Give me some vitamin D. So they did. 10,000. That's what they gave me, 10,000. But, you only absorb about 5 to no more than 9% of that. So that's not enough. So literally what you have to do is go outside every day when it's sunny, and you have to spend 20 minutes outside. You can walk around, just stand. You know why we be looking at white people, why they stand in the sun like that? You have to do that. That's what you got to do. Put some sunscreen on, but for your face, but you have to absorb sun. And literally after time, it'll get better with the vitamin D. Then they give you a list of foods that have it, but you'll feel 100% better. So I'm been really tired, but I've been absorbing. But Atlanta's weather has been really sucky. it's been all rainy and cloudy, so I haven't got enough sun. And I'm not doing the ultraviolet light. I'm just going to have to wait for the sun. But I'm saying this because if you find yourself feeling a little fatigued or tired and stuff, you should go get your vitamin D checked. You'd be shocked how many people suffer from this. And it seriously does that. Now, not conclusion, but I just started thinking about some things about different generations. You know how we say, like, if you're in my generation or older, anything, did you notice that the kids, I mean, I have one of those teenagers that are like about 18 right now. Anybody that's 18, 17, 16, you're like, what the hell happened to them? And this is my own child, I'm telling you. You're like, what the hell happened to them? They're super sensitive. They are just annoying. They're always complaining, always talking about something. And then on top of it, if you notice, I talked to a few people, a lot of these kids suffer from depression. A lot of them. It's like an epidemic. Like anyone that's like 18, 17, 16, a lot of depression going on. So I started doing some research and I was looking, which is interesting. Oh, by the way, it also lowers libido. That's just when they're older. But what's interesting about the kids, I have to mention, is they did do some studies and it was saying that that generation, the one that's like 16, 17, 18 right now, I forgot what they're called, Generation X or Z. I don't remember which one they are. Anyway, you can look up what generation they are. The point is, the kids around that age, 16, 17, 18, so forth, is they don't go outside and play. And when you think about it, it's true. So those kids are more prone to depression because of the deficiency. It causes depression. A lot of times, if you really think about it, the kids don't go out. They do not. My other daughter, who is 30 right now, I think that's the last generation that literally went outside. Like went outside literally. Now we went outside. Think about when we were little. Our parents closed the door. Like literally my mom closed the screen door on me, was like, don't come back for a couple of hours. And I remember I was thirsty. I had to drink out the hose. Like we went riding our bikes places. We went roller skating. I know now it's dangerous. You can't do that. But I mean, we just went around your neighborhood and nobody was worried about you. You went outside to play. Double Dutch, all the little games that you play. Everybody called it different names, hot peas and butter, like 1, 2, 3, all that other stuff, tag. Like you went outside, you rode your bike, you roller skate, you played games on I grew up in Long Island, so on the stoop, we were playing Sorry, Spit, Spades, all of that. Like we just was playing, like we were just outside. Now, my daughter's generation, the one that's 30, they went outside. They didn't do as much as we did, but they went outside. They walked around. You went to the basketball court, watched the guys play ball, just did a couple of things. But the next generation, the one that I have that's 18 now, they don't do nothing. I'm really thinking about, they do nothing. Absolutely nothing. They're all inside on their TikToks, Instagram, Snapchat. They don't go nowhere. They literally go from one place to inside to school, just talking on that. They don't go anywhere. And they say that there's a big, and I'm talking about in Black children that age, a huge depression issue. I thought that was very, very, very interesting. So anyway, I just had to mention that. So if you're not getting outside, if you're feeling kind of tired or even depressed, you might want to check your blood work. You'd be how simple it is. Now it takes, crazily enough, if the sun would please come out, apparently it takes 3 to 4 months to really get your levels better. Because my level, you're supposed to be at 100. So let's just say you're at 100. My level was 17. That's how low my vitamin D is. So it's going to take me, I have to do all of this stuff. It's going to take me about 4 months to really get back to the perkiness. Like, it's crazy how you just all of a sudden just feel tired, and that's what it is. So I thought that was interesting. Now, I don't care what's going on, but the reason I bring this up too is if you are older, that can affect your libido. You could be tired and affected. Yeah, but some people, I don't care how tired I am. Y'all bugging. That's all I got to tell you. I don't care how tired I am. I'm one of those. Tired or not, we getting it in. So, but everybody's not like that. I'm just saying, too personal, I guess, but everybody is not like that. Everybody cannot overcome their libido and be like, oh, tired. That doesn't happen. Some people really let well, not let, the tiredness affects them. And let's be honest, besides that, I'm talking to my ladies that are a little bit older because, there's some people in here that are listening. They know, if they're over 45, they listening. And if you're not going to get there, a lot of times with women, the estrogen starts to get lower and that kills the libido too. It does. Now, the first thing a doctor will tell you is, let me give you some estrogen. Please try other things. Try all the natural methods first. There's different herbs, foods, herbs, teas. Try all that first before you go for the synthetic thing, because that's another problem that we have to look at as a Black community. They have birth control pills. You're only really supposed to take those for 3 years. Hey, babe. Hey, Tyrone. You're only supposed to take them for 3 years. People are taking them longer than that. These shots, all that kind of stuff, very, very dangerous, because this is why we have high numbers of breast cancer, fibroids, all those things. So I'm just imploring you, if you're having those issues, libido issues and different things, try the different herbs and teas and different things first before you go to, the chemical substances first. Just take a look at that. But do your blood work, look at that vitamin D, because it'll help if you start taking your vitamin D. It's very important. It does a lot of things too, with growth of hair. It just does a whole bunch of stuff. But on to the topic, I just thought I would mention that. I was on Instagram and I saw a couple of people talking about this, and I thought it was really interesting. So I wanted to give my opinion to it and see what the fellas are thinking. The ladies can listen. So they were talking about, of course, child support came up, but we're not going to talk about child support today. But they were talking about fathers in the sense of, a lot of women are saying if you're not in the household with your child, they were saying that the argument was that the men were saying that they're still full-time fathers. The mothers were saying they're not. So I'm curious to think, do you think full-time fathers is equated to money? Because some of the men said, well, I pay my money. And if they're on child support, they say, I pay my child support. So that should make me a full-time father. Now, then some were saying, no, that does not. You don't spend all the time with them. They're with me all the time, except for on the weekends that you pick them up. And only because you pick them up for a couple of days, that makes you not a full-time father. So I'm just curious of what y'all think. I'm starting to think that men and women, they think very differently about this. Because when I asked around today, a lot of men felt it doesn't matter. As long as I'm paying what I'm supposed to pay in child support, I'm a full-time father. Now, some of the women were saying, well, you're not around, you're not a full-time father. So I'm just curious about what y'all think about that. And then I brought up, when I was listening to this, okay, so for instance, we have Nick Cannon. I noticed that when you put him up, a lot of women complain under this stuff and say, oh, there's no way that he is being a good father to those kids because it's too many, he's spread thin. But at the same time, if the definition that I'm hearing from the guys is about paying, he pays for his kids. He pays the money that he pays, whatever they agreed on, over what child support would be. He pays for his kids. He doesn't see them all the time, but he pays for them. So does that make him a full-time father? Is that enough for the children and so forth? So I'm just really curious about that. Because then we also can turn around and say, okay, what about the fathers that are truck drivers, the fathers that are doctors, the fathers that go away and serve in the service? They're not there all the time. But people would say that, they are, because they're working and they're paying for things, they're full-time fathers. So I'm very curious of what is the difference if he's, not because of his job, would you still say that is a full-time father? So what is everybody's definition of a full-time father? And I should have looked this up in the dictionary to see what it says. If it even has that on there. Let me look at this iPad. Al, I know you hear this. What do you think? Because I know you have a different perspective on a lot of things. And not calling you old, but you have an older perspective.
Yes, absolutely. And it's an interesting
dynamic that you presenting out there. And again, a full-time father is truly not one that has to be in the house 24/7, but is that father who contributes 100% to the upbringing of that child. Like you said, there's people who are in the military, there's people who work. Like I've done both. I was in the military. I worked a job where, on the average, I work 18 hours a day. So again, it's not that I didn't desire to be in the house to be with my children, but in order for me to provide the way I needed to provide, I had to take on certain types of jobs and certain type of careers so that my children can be raised properly, so that when they got old enough, they would have the things necessary so they could be productive citizens of society.
Okay. Interestingly enough, I'm gonna keep looking this up, but when you type in Google full-time father, it talks about stay-at-home dads.
Wow, that's interesting.
That's why I just said this is really interesting. I'm gonna go to Webster Dictionary, but right now, as soon as you put in full-time father in Google, hold on, let me hear what this comment is. It's oh wait, the time you put in it makes you a father. When you have them, like what you said about truckers and service guys. Okay. So interestingly enough, this is why I was mentioning that. I agree with you, Al. Right. But interesting enough, as soon as you put in Google, we're going to do the definition in a minute, but as soon as you put in Google, it says a stay at home dad, alternatively, a full time father stays at home. See? A house dad is the father who is the main caregiver of the children and generally the homemaker of the household. The female equivalent is a stay at home mom. So they're comparing, when you put on Google a stay-at-home mom to be a full-time father, they're saying you literally have to be like a stay-at-home mom. And then they have the census report that 30% of married fathers, which is 7 million dads, are regularly source of care for their children under the age of 16. Yeah, because you say, how do I become a full-time dad? It's all about working at home, or they're taking on that role. Isn't that interesting?
So here's where I beg to differ. So let's say that the dad is home with the children 24/7 and he's not working, and only the mother is the one out making the money.
Mhm.
Does that make the mother not a full-time mom?
This is where it gets interesting. Okay, so that's okay. So we're on the same page. So this is where it gets interesting. I'm putting in the definition.
Because in today's
Okay.
society, at
Oh, I'm
least
sorry.
one of the
Let me just read this definition because I put in the I just and then I'm gonna let you go.
all right.
So basically, when you put it in for a definition, it's a noun, and it says a husband who remains in the homestead as the housekeeper, as opposite to the housewife. So when you say full time father in definition,
Uh-huh.
it's basically saying that he's like how if when you were stay at home mom. Isn't that very, very interesting? But go ahead and say what you're saying then.
So that
Make a comment.
definition is telling us in order for a father to be a full-time father, he must be in the house with the mother equivalently, doing the same
Correct.
chores, spending the same time with the children. So where does the finances come from for them to sustain themselves as a family?
Because in this definition, the mother's working. In this definition, the father is switching roles with the mother. So in this definition, the mother goes to work, the father gets to stay home. Now, I promise you, it's very interesting because the way that society looks at it, it's going to be something wrong with the dad, but the way the society looks at a mother, she doesn't have to be there all the time. Because even when you're a single mom, they never say a single mom is not a full-time mom. If you're a mom and if you work over 40 hours a week, they will never say to you, oh, you're not a full-time mom. It does not happen because they're single moms. You get what I'm saying? That work all the
Right.
time.
Right.
But it's very interesting if you think about it, even in the Webster Dictionary, even when you Google it, it does not define a full-time father as a person who goes to work and comes home. The only way it's saying in that meaning, quote unquote, the technical meaning, you
Hmm.
would have to be at home. Isn't that, I find it very interesting. And it came across because if you listen to women and you listen to men, women say something about time,
Mhm.
and a lot of men say something about money. That's what I found out today. That's why I was curious of what you were thinking when I was kind of putting it on Clubhouse and Instagram, and then asking around the people I know and so forth. A lot of the decision was made split just like that. The women were talking about, well, it depends on how much time he spends with the kid, in that way. The men were saying, well, as long as I do I provide for them, then I'm a full-time father. So you see the difference, which is really interesting. Let me read this. Oh, Google never lies. Well, I'm telling you what Google is saying, but you know what Google. Okay, the money comes from EBT. I'm done with you. No, they're saying the mother is working. So with the full, when you look at the definition, you Google it, you'll see that it's saying that the father is taking on the mother's role. And I gave you statistics. What did I say, Al? Was it 47? Oh, no, 37. What was that number? Let me go back. It was 37%. It was basically 7 million fathers are doing this.
Right, right. So now my question is, why the double standard?
Now that is what I wanted to get to. That is where I wanted to get to. I find it so interesting because not only is there a double standard, but when you say that to a woman, okay, you go to work, and what happens if I had a small kid, but my job made more, so I'm going to go to work and you're going to stay home. A lot of men will say, hell no. And a lot of women will start to degrade their man after a while.
Right.
It's really interesting how we put so much when it comes to a man into his financial ability to provide for the family.
Right.
And once you take that away, it's like all of a sudden he becomes garbage. Like he's like, what is he doing? It's like he can't sit on that couch. Even if when you come home, the house is cleaned, he's cooked, he's taking good care of the children. There is no way in society when another woman hears that, she's looking at you like, your man stays home while you work. Her eyeballs just go out of her head.
Right. In other words, you taking care of him, why he's not contributing financially, so forth and so on. So like I said, it's a double standard.
It is, but it's curious. My curiosity is, where did we put, it's not even thinking about who's taking care of the kid. That's a better choice then, because you see all these daycares, you see all the things that are happening. So let's just say I'm making, he's making 50,000, I'm making, let's just say 95,000. So wouldn't it be I'm to be the one that works and then you stay home? But literally that is a problem, even though when women stay home, they tell you how much work they do. It's
Right.
a lot of work to stay home. So he's doing a lot of work, but the world is going to look at him like, what? And God forbid that person gets pregnant again. Are you kidding? People be like, you got a bum at home because he's not working.
Right. Right. But again, it's society in itself and how we define the setup of the household and what the expectation is as far as the man is concerned. And again, like you're saying, if he's not contributing financially, then it's a problem in our communities.
And that, okay, so let's just take those dynamics, and that's what I'm saying. So even if you decide that for your household, you have a lot of outside pressure too.
Mm-hmm.
And then women, when I ask them, they literally say they are literally not sexually attracted to their man anymore.
And that's another phase.
Exactly. So literally, in this woman's eyes, she no longer is attracted to her husband if he stays home. She
Right.
no longer is like, I want to be with him. So if he does it for a long time, this is what we're getting into. Her likelihood of having an affair at work
Increase.
goes up higher because all he's trying to do is you make more money, stay home with the kids because he wants them to be safe. But now she doesn't see him in this masculine sense.
Right.
Also because of the way society's looking at it. So now she doesn't want to really sleep with him. She'd rather cheat on him with somebody at work. Now, is this not the craziest thing? But if we turn the table,
reality. It's
Right,
crazy.
but if we turn the tables,
Mhm.
it's unacceptable for your man to be cheating with somebody at work if you're staying at home. It's
Right.
looked upon like, how could you do that? And
Mm.
I find that super interesting.
Yes.
I find that very super interesting how this whole role gets switched around and how our sexual desires are almost dictated by what society thinks is acceptable and not acceptable.
Right. So we're allowing society to write the narrative of what's acceptable within the household and the expectation of what a man should be to that household. And if they don't apply themselves according to what the standard is, then they lose out altogether.
Yeah, because you think about it, what woman, and then even let's just say that they don't make it, and then you start working and you tell a woman that you met, like you were dating, and she said, well, you were married, yes, well, what did you do? Oh, my wife made more money and I stayed home. Check.
Right.
You see that?
Right. He don't get a second look.
Oh, hell no. You
Not unless that woman is
vagina
a
is
special
getting
woman.
dry. It's literally drying up. It's but see, a woman can sit with a man and say, I was home, I took care of the kids. And he's naturally gonna, either be like, oh, some men will be like, oh, I want to take care of you, or what are you doing now? And they'll take that person like that.
Mhm.
She can be vetted.
Mm.
Yeah. I mean, let's really think about that. I thought that was really interesting because, like I said, women's definition of a full-time father has to do with time. They're like, oh, spend a whole bunch of time. If you do that, men, because also the system has set up child support, as long as they're paying their child support, they said, well, I'm being a father. And this is where I feel like we have a disconnect.
Oh, absolutely. Because now you're allowing the state or the government to dictate to you how you should raise your children, because you and the mother or your ex can't get along and come to an agreement of what's best or the best way to provide for your children as you all raise them together.
Getting me into my next thing that I want to talk about, which I mean, Al, don't go anywhere because I think you're going to find this interesting. I don't feel like women, and I'm going to say this, I don't feel like we're truthful. I think when it comes to, just watch this, I think when it comes to relationships, we are lying when we have children. I'm going to show you why. Hold on. I think women that follow that has not grown up, they are not living in for themselves. They're living for society. I mean, they do. Now, let me give you this situation. So, a woman marries a man. He comes with previous kids. This came up too. I thought this was really interesting. He comes with previous kids. Let's just say he has 2 kids.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we have had the discussion about child support. All the women have agreed, some men did, that what they require you to pay in child support is really not enough for child support.
Right.
But okay, so let me tell you how it's funny with women. He married, he comes with the kids. He comes with 2 kids. He gets married to her. She has a kid with him. Child support says he pays $300. Okay? He's paying the $300. She's not complaining about that. Now, we have said that child support is not enough. So he goes to his wife and says, hey, $300 is not enough. She needs some more money. So I'm going to go ahead and give her $500. Now, you tell me what you think the wife is going to say.
If you're giving her extra $200, you better go over there. Yeah, I get it.
Watch this.
Absolutely.
So literally, she is vexed. It's a problem. You cannot freaking do this. So this is why some men have to sneak that. Or you cannot do. What she needs some extra money for? She gets $300. Now take that same wife, they have a divorce. She becomes the other person.
Right.
That $300 is not enough anymore. She's like, nigga, please.
Right.
You must be bugging. You gonna give me more money because these are your kids. When did $300 come enough? Do you see how women are hypocrites?
Right. Exactly.
So my thing is, I was saying this today, and I got they try to chew me out. I said, because you're not honest. I said, y'all are not being honest as women. Because here's the bottom line. When are we going to realize, and this is what I'm going to say to men, you can take someone you can come with children, but be very careful in the thought process of thinking because she loves me, she's going to love my kids the same. This is what's happening, gentlemen. She is tolerable of your kids.
Right.
Because she wants you.
Right.
I don't care how she's being very nice to him. And when I say that, people make the mistake of thinking I'm saying she's going to be mean to the kids. Oh, no. She is nice to the children. When they come over, she treats them like she treats her own. She's nice to the kids and everything. But the moment, I'm telling you, the mother wants more money, hell fucking no. See, it's not about the kids anymore. Because guess what? She don't love your kids like that. Because then she'll be like, oh, you know what? That's okay. We can all, no. But this is where I say women don't lie. I mean, women lie. Because here is the thing that we have to realize. And I think men need to understand this. Because she had a kid with you. Her concern, her main duty, and people get mad when I say this, but I'm going to say it. I'm going to put it out there right now. Y'all can get mad, but I can defend this. Her main duty is her child. The mistake that is made is to think that, like I'm going to use it in the sense of me. You think I'm going to treat your child well and stuff, but now you think I'm supposed to put everything on equal ground. Women love the children that they have. And I'm not saying that everybody's like that. Of course, there are people who really, well-rounded, wholeheartedly do that. But in majority, they are tolerating your other children because they want you. And they know to have you, they have to deal with them in a good fashion. But this is why when you want to give extra money, they say, hey, no, you're not taking money out of my child's mouth. We already agreed to $300. That's it. Where the hell does extra money come from?
Right.
Even if you have it, do you know that the women be like, oh, no, she's not getting any more?
Right.
I say this because a lot of times right now, we have this whole idea that's going on right now is fuck first, even buy a house first, then get married. Lot of children, and I mean not even by the younger people. A lot of children are being born with parents that are not in wedlock over the age of 30. It's insane. Consciously. And they might have had a child before, or he has some kids, but they're not getting together. And people they're not paying attention to what's going on. Because at the end of the day, it's the kids that suffer.
Right.
I'm just telling y'all are in this belief that that everybody's just loving everybody's kids and they get along.
No. Not the case.
It's bullshit. And not only that is it bullshit. I hate to, whoever's a single mom listening to this, I'm sorry, but no one's giving it to you real. So today I'm gonna tell you the truth. Because everybody likes to sugarcoat it. It's bullshit. Not only that, here's your thing. As a single parent, the other thing that you don't think about is you don't think about his family. You just think because he's showing you that he loves the kid, he's taking the kid or she's taking the kid. Who told you the aunts and uncles and everybody else supposed to be taking the kid? This is the thing. We're not thinking. And get mad. Get mad when the family doesn't want to participate the way you want them to participate. Yeah, I'm trying to talk the truth because nobody's saying it. Thank you. Because no one is saying it. It's this underlying fairy tale and these kids is getting hurt. It's these underlying, as adults that have been in this situation, they felt the difference in slight ways. But the thing about it is everybody's walking around like having these kids and then coming together when they do come in there, it's okay. Now, here's another thing. Remember the dating app? So here's the thing, guys. I tried to talk to a couple of people, but I thought this was very interesting why I brought this subject up. I had to bring this up. So I talked to this guy, and he says he has kids. I said, how many kids you have? I just talked, I want to tell y'all a couple of stories. Some stuff is funny as hell. Anyway, this came up to me because he said he had kids, but he had some bonus kids. I thought this was very interesting. He said he had 3 kids, but 2 bonus kids. He still accepts his ex's kids as his kids. They called.
Mhm.
So while we were on the phone, like, speaking, one of the girls called and she had crashed her car,
Mm.
right? And she calls him daddy. And the mother and him are not together. This is not his biological kid. And he goes, yeah, I might have to. Now she's 20 something years old.
Mhm.
And he said, I might have to help her buy a car. And literally in my head, I was thinking, I'm a 27-year-old. They bought their own damn car. Excuse me? What? I'm
Right,
just telling y'all the truth.
right.
This is what I'm thinking about. So I'm like, really? In my head. So I'm thinking, oh, child support system needs to be fixed. Yeah, it does. So here's the thing that was interesting. I'm just trying to tell you how it is when you think about this. So I'm thinking to myself, if I was really to date this man, like really date him. And it was wild because I was a little annoyed because I was thinking like, wait, what? Like, what are we talking about here? Because to me, your kids are old enough to do this stuff. So I'm just thinking about, but you can't control somebody's money. But I'm just telling you how things, think about because
Yeah.
everybody's different. And I just was like, okay, so wait a minute. So I'm like, do you still talk to the mother? Because I thought this whole thing was because they only dated. Now, here's the thing. Here's the catcher. They only dated 6 years. So to me, you tell me, I thought the whole thing was weird.
Well, one thing that we gotta be mindful of as adults, when
Mhm.
you come into a child's life and you help rear that child, whether it's for a year, 2 years, 3 years, even if it's for 6 months, that child becomes connected to you, right?
Okay.
And if you walk away from that child, then that child is going to have some issues, because again, we don't think as adults of how we affect people in their lives, especially impressionable young children. So you come around and then all of a sudden you're not around anymore. Now, what is that child thinking in his head about the individual or about relationships in itself, right? So if you want to help to make sure that that child doesn't have a level of anxiety and depression because of relationships, then you try to be involved in that child's life for as long as you can. Now, as far as they crashing their car and you buying them another car, that's a whole nother animal, and I ain't doing
Well, the reason I bring this up because I understand what you said. So
it.
here's the devil advocate to that side. How am I think now when I'm talking to you? Now that you took on bonus kids, which you can do, and I understand because whatever in your relationship, and this is an honest thing. So when they started dating, the child was 21. No, it was 6 years. So the child, I think, is 23 right now. 23, 24. So count back 6. Was that 19, 18? Here's my thing. And the father's not in the picture. And he has a relationship. But here's my question. This is what went through my head. You have your 3 biological, you took on the other 2, whatever the case, and that's your choice, and that's fine.
Mhm.
But honestly, in my head, I'm thinking about what you do, and I'm not in your pocketbook. I'm not in your pocketbook. I'm not in your pockets exactly. But I'm saying to myself, how are you financially sound to date me then?
I
Like
guess
literally. See, and that's another thing.
if he's contributing financially, yeah, there's going to be a sacrifice somewhere.
Correct. So you have to find someone, and this is what I'm saying.
Hmm.
You have to find someone that's willing to take that dip or be okay with that, and it has the same mindset. This is why I'm bringing this up, devil's advocate in the sense of saying this, because this is the things that people don't say. I literally, the first thought in my head was like, oh, sir, I don't think you financially sound to date me. Because I really think that men should have a dating budget, like seriously, like a relationship budget when you get into it. Because I don't do Golden Corral. I'm sorry. I don't. Like,
But
and
their
this is not
French fries are
everybody.
good. Their French fries are good.
I'm done with you and I don't do them. Hold on. Pause on that. Nah, and keeping my money. Oh, you are grown. Don't wait. Don't wait on him. See, this is what I'm saying. I'm being realistic right now. Hold on. I don't think it's weird. They gained a secure relationship during the time. He probably told her that even though him and the mother are not together, he's willing to always be. He did. And I think that's admirable. But the problem with that is I don't think I can fuck with you. because they're still needing you in that sense. And for me, I'm trying to figure out where does my finances fit in. See, I'm trying to tell you, a lot of women won't say it, but it's true. Even though I have my own money and I have my own stuff, but my whole thing is I expect a certain amount of things and dates and trips and different things. And so you think that I want to hear, oh, I got to do this and I got to do that and I got to do this and I got to do that. So, we got to postpone what we got to do. Excuse me? Or we got to pay 50-50 on our trip because, I got to take care of the kids. I understand the ones, and I get it. And I'm not saying that this is a bad thing. I'm not saying what the man's doing is not a bad thing. But I'm letting y'all know what some women are thinking. Especially older women. Because no one's saying it. They're pretending like, oh, it's all okay. No, it's not. They're lying. I like, you like, Tyrone, please don't tell me you like Golden Corral. Jesus Christ. Lord have mercy. The red cups give me the EBGBs. I can't do them. What is the difference if that was, his well, that's my point. What happens is, okay, if it's your biological child, you have three, you have to be responsible. When you add 2 other children onto it, we can't act like that doesn't tap into someone's money. You can't act like that. All I'm saying is you have to date someone at that point on the same level as you. But a lot of times these men want to look up here. And see, this is something that we're not talking about. There are different types of women. And sometimes even women will say when they see a man with a woman, if he's a really good looking man, and let's just say to society standards, the woman is not exactly really beautiful, a woman would say, how the hell did she pull him? That's weird. Like, wow, because he is fine. And she is, Let me tell you something, ladies. Sometimes what it has to do with, not all the time, but a good amount of time is, it's the type of woman you are. And I feel like men can tell you this. And Al, you can go, I'm going to say this statement. You tell me what you think. A lot of times men know what they're getting to after they talk to a woman, what they're getting into. There's a woman that you can go ahead and go to Target, buy her a gift, give it to her, and she's happy. But there's some women that you cannot do that. Men know when they talk to certain women, there's just certain things that it's not going to fly. They know being in a relationship with this woman is going to be another bill. Right. Not only just taking care of the house and different stuff, all the things that she likes are up here. And some of them don't want to deal with that. They say, I don't want to deal with that. I just want somebody that is just chill. They're not into labels. They're not into that. Not saying that the other woman, they could be the same woman. Not saying that the other woman you bring anything to the table. So both of these women can bring things to the table. But I think there's different calibers of women of what they like and what they do. And we're just different women. A lot of people are different women. But what I'm saying is a man knows what he wants to do with. Some men say, I don't want to deal with that headache. No, I don't want to deal with that. Hold on 1 minute. Her house is stable, LL. Yes. I'm just saying to you that there's some women that you can give certain gifts to and they'll be fine. And there's some women, you bring that, they look at you like you lost your damn mind. They'll be like, where did you get that from? See, just like I said about Golden Corral. Remember I just said just now, I don't eat Golden Corral. If you like Golden Corral, you may want to date someone that will go to Golden Corral because I'm not going there. There is nothing you can do to convince me to go to Golden Corral. I'm not doing it.
Hold on. What if he told you that if you go to Golden Corral with him, that he'll take you on a 6-month trip to Africa?
I'm not going to Golden Corral.
All expenses paid.
Why are you taking me to if you can take me to Africa, because my whole idea is if you can take me to Africa, we don't have to go to Golden Corral. I'm not going to Golden Corral. I'm not eating there. There's no way. I don't do Golden Corral. I don't do Olive Garden. I don't do Red Lobster. I don't do none of that. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't do none of that. And I can give you receipts. You date me, you're spending some money. That's it. It has nothing to do with the fact that because I'm trying to make you spend money. Because here's the thing, and I think we talked about this maybe 3 weeks ago. We talked about this. I said I don't like women who only date so that they could go to expensive restaurants and they never go to them by themselves. I think that's wrong. Right. See, but this is why I'm coming from this. I want y'all to listen very clearly. I take myself to expensive restaurants by myself. I would sit in Vegas and spend $300 on, we talked about this, on food. So I expect you to do the same. And this is why. So I wouldn't eat Golden Corral by myself. So I'm damn sure ain't gonna eat it with you. And I want to eat the same places that I would feed myself. I want to feed with you. And that costs money. That's just who I am. This is just my taste buds. So that's the thing. I'm not asking someone to do anything that I wouldn't do for myself. And that's fair.
Right, right.
But what I'm saying is, if you can't financially support our relationship the way that I like, it might not be good for us to be in a relationship.
Right.
You see what I mean? And this is what I mean that people are not honest.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I'm talking about. Let me read the
Tyrone
comment.
said, if he hit you with the vitamin D right, you're going to stop the cap.
I knew what he was talking about. Oh my gosh, I get what he's talking about.
Golden Corral, unlimited steaks and shrimp.
Oh God. That's a whole nother show. Because you know what? A couple of times, if you get it right, I might be sitting and go to cry. I won't eat nothing, but I'll be right. I might just be sitting there. I ain't gonna eat shit because you don't hit me with the vitamin D. I get it. I understand. Because some good vitamin D could change your mind for a second, but it won't last long. It'll be very temporary because I'll be like this. I don't like it. But I only brought this up because I'm just saying that sometimes when you make choices, you have to date within your lane. And that sounds crazy, but in your comfort zone. And I think that's true. And I'm not saying there's no compromise, but I think people are not truthful. Let me see something. That's why I love you, telling the truth. Absolutely. So now wait, let me tell y'all this. So I talked to somebody else. They were 54 years old and they had a 2-year-old. Wow. I said, deuces. I said, sir. And I said, just like this. I said, sir, I'm so sorry. I am not for you at all. We don't even have to conversate. We don't have to finish this conversation. You have a 2-year-old. He was like, what? He said, but I'm a good father. I said, that's perfect. That's why I can't date you. Because you're a good father. No, you think that I'm going to sit there talk about, oh, this ain't my weekend. Oh, the baby mama called, the babies. Oh, hell no. I need you to have older kids. They got some grandkids. You can do all of that. But I will refuse. Just like anybody else, I tell anybody to they date now. If you don't want somebody that already had a kid, that is your choice. You could do that. You could say it. Live by it. It's not a problem. It's the same thing I would do to somebody. I didn't care how much money he made. I didn't give two shits how much money. He said, but I got a good job. I could do it. I said, sir, I'm about to hang up. Please lose my number. You have a 2-year-old. Ew. Ew. No.
So did you hang up?
Yes. He texted me. He said, I can't believe you did that. Are you serious? I said, very, and I'm about to block you. No.
Mm-mm-mm.
You have a 2-year-old at 54. What if we together and the mother died? Oh, hell no. That's not my MO. Sorry, sir. Nope. I can deal with people with grandkids because you know what? They can come over even for a week and we can return them. Okay?
Right.
They can be returned. And we sit back and go, woo, we need a vacation because we don't took care of the kids for a week. Hell no. When it's your kid and it's 2? No. How old was the mother?
Good
I didn't
question.
ask how old the mother was because as soon as I heard the 2-year-old thing, I was out like a bandit. I don't care how old she was. Maybe she was younger. I don't even care. The baby's 2. That's phone calls. The baby's sick. You know what I'm saying? What did we? Oh, no, nope, not at all. I don't want that. See, that's the thing. I'm honest. I'll tell you right now. I don't care how nice you are, whatever. You have a 2-year-old. Oh, I don't want you no more. I don't care how good looking you are. I don't care if you have the biggest damn dick in whatever. You can slay it all you want to. Not over here with a 2-year-old. You can't. That's crazy. See? Keeping to what I'm talking about. But you know how many women would say, oh, I can deal with it. And then it's a problem later on. And see, here's the thing. This is the problem. They're tolerating the child because of the other benefits. Do you see that? They would sit there and tolerate the child. So, oh, that's okay. And whatever. be secretly mad.
Interesting.
No, think about it. Because he has money and he's nice and he's good looking, they'll be like, oh, okay, I can take him. Knowing damn well they don't want nothing to do with children that young. Ladies, it goes both ways. Because the single moms be sitting there talking about, I can still get a man. I can do all of this. I can still get a man. And somebody wants to date me. Okay. Yes, they do. You know what they want to do? They want to fuck you. Yes, because they figure you have some kids and you're a little horny. I'm not saying that nobody can't find love and get remarried or get married when they have a kid, but I'm just telling you, be on the lookout. And then because here's a kicker, because I've heard single moms say this. Well, if you're really interested in me, then you should pay for the babysitter. Baby. The women who don't even have kids, they not pay. Shit, then you should pay for my outfit. If he paid for your damn babysitter, then he should be paying for my goddamn outfit then. When do we do that? Now, if he offered after a while, that's different. But I'm just saying, it's the privilege that has me laughing. Shit, if you gonna get money for the babysitter, then I'm gonna get some money for my damn outfit, a new pocketbook, or something. Then if you date me, I should do that. It's the same thing. Like, I don't understand, quote unquote. Like, I just heard someone before, they had this. There was a couple of single moms out there. The entitlement was crazy to me. How he gonna tell me to get dressed? I gotta pay for a babysitter. I gotta pay for my clothes. I gotta pay for this. He should offer that. If I was a guy, I'd be like, excuse me? That's crazy. Hold on, what you guys say? Oh, great show. Yes. They're going to be mad at me. I don't even care. The single moms, when y'all watching this, I'm sorry that y'all mad because I'm telling you the truth. Y'all are bugging. Because I'm going to tell you right now, if my son came to me talking about the girl said pay for the babysitter, I said, have you lost your goddamn mind? Like, I really would say that. And I have kids. That's insane. Not his responsibility to date you. Because then, like I said, if I didn't have any kids, then what is he going to give me to go on a date? Because I'm trying to ask you a question. This is where it's going to get real hot. You're going to be real mad at me. What is the benefit of dating a single mom? Can somebody tell me right now? Y'all men out there, I want to know. And I'm not downing single moms. Let's just get this straight. We're just being controversial. I love single moms. I know a lot of single moms. They do a wonderful job and it's hard for them. So don't think I'm a single mom hater. I'm just saying some stuff that people are not talking about because they don't want to be rude and they don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. And that's a big thing because a lot of times, people will talk to single moms. Your girlfriend will tell you, girl, you can still get a man. It's okay. And this. And I'm not saying, like I said, I'm not saying that can't happen, but they don't tell you the truth. I'm standing with a single person with no kids, and then you have a single mom. What? I'm just asking the question. Now, you like somebody and you start caring about somebody, that's different. I understand that. But it's just this big blank thing, and they make it seem like everybody is in this equal zone when you're dating. Everybody is worthy to be on the same level because you'll hear, like I hear it all the time. I hear it on the Instagram. I hear it on the thing. Single moms will say, oh, no, I'm just as good as this person. And just because I have a kid, you shouldn't put this behind me and stuff like that. Okay. Benefit, please. If they are a MILF, sex other than that, nothing. So I'm trying to tell you. It's like driving a car off the lot. It depreciated. Now, we still may want it. That's why people buy used cars. Now, I know y'all going to be mad at me because I said that single mom is a used car. I know y'all mad. But that's not what I'm saying. I'm using an analogy, but you get what I'm saying. Please don't get too mad at me. Like I said, I'm telling you stuff that people are thinking, and people are afraid to say it. Drive off the lot. Depreciates. How in the world do you think you compare? And they will. They'll be like, oh, no, it's not a big. Yes. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's not impossible, but yes, it is. Because it takes a special type of man. Now, let's do some numbers here. It takes a special type of man. Y'all already having trouble finding a man, period. So when you add extra things to it, it gets a little harder. And I will even dare to say, because I'm plus size, I will even dare to say, not that people don't love plus size women, but do the numbers go down a little bit because you are plus size? Yes, they do. Can a plus size woman find a date? Yes, she can. Can a plus size woman get married? Yes, she can. So guess what? Just like I talked about single moms, I'm going to talk about something I'm familiar with. Plus size women. It's the same thing. It's not impossible. But truthfully, there's a set of men that don't like that. So that's just not for them. And there's a set of men that like it or don't care. So you can get someone, but yes, when you look at statistics and numbers and you ask, preferably they like a different body type. That's okay. But I think it's so interesting because another thing I'm going to touch on really quick, let me look at the time. Okay, I'm going to touch on really quick, is that when we're getting into plus size, I came across this weekend. Well, last weekend. I thought it was very, very, very interesting. Okay, so as a plus size woman, I find it interesting. As soon as a woman gets mad at you or even a man gets mad at you, the first thing that they want to call you is like fat. Tell me something, I guess according to the standards that I'm not. But the thing about it is, it's so interesting because people have been talking about pretty privilege lately. And yeah, if a plus size woman comes in and she looks beautiful or pretty, it's almost like they try to take away the pretty privilege, or like if they're pretty. It's kind of interesting. Men and women do it. And they act like plus size women don't get dates, don't get married. And people, because if they are having a date, or if you show that, hey, where you talking about? I have a man, look at him, he's fine. Or he does all those things that y'all are talking about. Oh, he doesn't really want you. He just wants to fuck you. Like, it's so much that goes along with being plus size that is so interesting. Oh my God, the killer is, be a plus size confident woman? How dare you? Women hate so badly. How dare you? I think that's really funny. But now let me get on my plus size women for a little bit though. Don't get me wrong. We're beautiful. We can date. We can hold a man. We can do all that stuff. Oh, it's time to go? Oh my gosh. When I go rush for a little bit more time. Al, I got the hit. I'm gonna wrap it up and we can finish this like next week. I'm gonna say this. Ladies, I love y'all because I'm plus size too, but lately on Instagram, I've been seeing some pictures and it's bathing suit time. I understand that they make outfits in our size. I understand our confidence. But this one lady got up there with this two-piece on. And some of the women were like, oh, you look good. And I don't know. I just really wanted to go on the back end and tell the truth. No, you're pretty, but no, that's not for you. You look crazy. With your belly hanging up. No, not just because they make it doesn't mean you should wear it. And I'm not saying you can't have confidence, but we're going to pick this up next week because that is very controversial. We're going to pick up plus size women, what they're wearing, and sex with a plus size woman. Is the vagina better? Is it? I'll see y'all later. And single moms, I love you. When I go rush for I do it the right way. And the only time they act is when it's role play. You get the cash, the boys not even your birthday. From ever since they know me like them road beer. I know me have to chop up with the road beer. Cause I'll you waiting for tonight when I'm supposed to show you. I know you like it. I know you like it. Cause I've been waiting for tonight when I'm supposed to show you. I know you like it. I know you like it. I know you like when I put it on you. I know you like when I put it on you.